Tonight on Golf Central, in light of Hurricane Matthew, the Web.com Tour has canceled its season-ending championship, and it will not be rescheduled. Find out what this means for those chasing the 25 remaining PGA Tour cards for next season. 1 week from today, Tiger Woods is expected to make his return to competitive golf. What should you expect from the 14-time major champion if he does indeed tee it up in the Safeway Open? And another multiple major winner is in the news. World number one Lydia Ko defending her title in Asia this week. Highlights from the Fubon LPGA Taiwan Championship right now on Golf Central.
Golf Central, brought to you by Titleist.
Oh, there is nothing like a good old-fashioned bet to remind everyone of the outcome before the start of the Ryder Cup. St. Andrews and Pinehurst making a wager on Twitter regarding the matches at Hazeltine. The loser had to fly the winner's flag at its venue, so this week the Pinehurst flag flying proudly at the old course. With that, we say hello. Welcome to Golf Central. Lisa Cornwell, Trip Eisenhower, sort of bragging rights for Pinehurst and the Americans.
Yeah, well, I'm sure St. Andrews, with recent history of the Ryder Cup, was pretty confident that that flag was going to be flying in North Carolina. But again, might as well take advantage of it while you can. Yeah,
and on that note, 6 members of the European team are on site at St. Andrews this week. And, well, they're forced to witness the Pinehurst flag flying because of that loss. Today marked the opening round of the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship being played at the Old Course, Carnoustie and Kingsbarns. Let's take a look at first round highlights. Martin Kaymer, he is at Carnoustie here at the third for par.
Yeah, Carnoustie, the toughest of the 3 courses in this rotation, and that par keeps him right at 1 over par.
Yeah, all 6 of those Ryder Cuppers at Carnoustie on Thursday. Here at the fourth, Kaymer for birdie.
And not a lot of birdies last week in Hazeltine, but rare birdie in round number 1 for him. It
was a 71 for Kaymer. He is 7 back. Rafa Cabrera Bello here at the par 4 7th, his second.
Well, a lot of concerns about the rookies for the European Tour, European side at the Ryder Cup, but no questions anymore about this young man. Fantastic around the greens. He played awfully well last week, and it continues.
He certainly knew how to play that shot as well. That was a birdie for him at 70 in the opening round. Thomas Peters, how about the week he had at Hazeltine?
Yeah, he said, hello, world, and we saw that. Long drives, straight drives. This is 403 yards downwind, Lisa, so aided by the wind, yes, but still 403 yards.
I just like the guys watching it. They're just watching it. Just come on through there. That's Peters with 2-putt for birdie. He also shot a 70. Lee Westwood, he had trouble with the putter, especially this length we saw.
Oh, no question.
At Hazeltine.
Let's see. Yep, that's the same flat stick he was using at Hazeltine, and didn't show up, or it did show up, excuse me, in round number 1.
That was a bogey for Westwood and a 75 in the opening round. Danny Willett in the same group.
Even shorter, and there you can see. He says he misread it. I say he came up out of it. Either way, it's a miss.
So let's take a look at how those 6 European members of the Ryder Cup fared in the opening round. A couple of -2s on the board there. You see some red numbers, but then Willett, Westwood, Fitzpatrick, definitely not the opening that they wanted. Well, let's take a look at some other highlights. Some of the leaders here, starting with Ross Fisher at Kingsbarns.
Yeah, and this is the golf course you really have to take advantage of. You can shoot some low scores at Kingsbarns in any conditions, and you know what? When you're making putts like that, you're going to shoot low score.
And he certainly did, a 7 under 65. He's just 1 back. Time for today's save, presented by Geico. Padraig Harrington, he won the 2007 Open at Carnoustie here at the same course at the par 4 9th.
Yeah, the vice captain from the European side, couple-time winner of this event as well, Lisa, and out of the bunker. And when you see the line doing that, if he read it right, it goes in. Padraig Harrington and Links Golf are good friends.
Padraig is 6 back after a 2 under performance. Alex Noren playing Carnoustie. He's won twice this year on the European.
Yeah, he really has, and that last win came at the Omega European Masters a couple of weeks ago, where the week before he finished 2nd in the Paul Lowry match play.
So that rolled up to about 8 feet, setting up this eagle attempt.
So this is an eagle? An eagle? Yes?
No.
Can you believe that? That putt did everything but go in, maybe just a little too firm.
So that would get him to -6 after that birdie. Now at the 8th, Noren for another birdie.
Yeah, 29th in the official world golf ranking, and this young man's going to be around for a long, long time.
-7. Definitely a different stroke to watch, though.
Well,
here at 9.
Yeah, but I like the forward press and how he holds that lower hand forward, and it's working.
Yeah, it certainly did, because he tied the course record with a 64 and leads this event by 1. We saw the wind blowing and howling. It didn't affect these players at all on day 1. A lot of low scores in the opening round. Again, this rotation between St. Andrews, Carnoustie, and Kingsbarns. Thinking about some of the players we mentioned who performed well for the Europeans in the Ryder Cup, what do you think that does for the future of Rafa Cabrera-Bello and Thomas Pieters?
Yeah, well, look, I think their future is very bright. We knew Thomas Pieters had a lot of game coming in, and of course Cabrera-Bello over the years, he was one of just 14 players this year to make the cut in each and every major. When you're that kind of consistent golfer, you know you're going to play well on the big stage, and boy, did they. They both played extremely well. Rafa teaming up with Sergio, they were a formidable team. And of course, Thomas Pieters and I think Rory McIlroy, I think we've seen a pairing that's going to work very well. He's got a lot of game. He's long off the tee. He was very confident on that stage. And when you have the ability to make those kind of putts in that environment and shush the crowd like he did, we saw Patrick Reed do it a couple of years ago, and how it translated to success again in this Ryder Cup. I think for both these players, when you have a Ryder Cup the way they had, you know, what transpired in that Ryder Cup, it's going to lead to success not only on the European Tour, but it's going to travel to the United States. You're going to see a lot more of these young players on the U.S. side, in particular the World events and the major championships. They both have a game where they can contend in majors and win major championships. And I think they will draw on what happened last week in Minnesota a lot in the future to help them get those majors or get that experience in majors.
And Lee Westwood made such a good statement. He said, you know, they come in as young players, but they're really so experienced.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than what he experienced 20 years ago. Well, the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship, it's not all about the amateur or the professionals. There are some celeb AMs playing. Tico Torres, the drummer for Bon Jovi.
He's on a roll. Get it?
Yeah.
He's on a roll, Lisa.
That was bad.
Yeah. Okay.
That was at Carnoustie at the par 4 ninth, and yeah, that one rolled right out of trouble. He would putt for a net birdie. Hugh Grant, he loves to play in a lot of these.
Hugh Grant, yes. You know what? He's a accomplished golfer, and well, that's a net 1. A net 1. Yeah, that's always good.
Take that. Jamie Redknapp played 15 years of Premier League soccer here at St. Andrews.
Well, there's no goalie to stop that one. Nope. Goal!
Yeah, and that's the end of those highlights. We're saved by the bell. Still ahead on Golf Central, today is a special day for Tiger Woods. We'll tell you what happened to him 20 years ago that jump-started his PGA Tour career. Plus, it's been another season of dominance for world number 1 Lydia Ko, the 19-year-old, chasing her 5th LPGA title of 2016.